The little boy sat on the cold concrete steps and watched the rain fall. He held a broken toy car tightly in his small, dirty hand. Every car that drove past, he hoped would stop for him. But they never stopped, and the orphanage lights turned off behind him. His name was Leo, and he had been waiting for 4 years. Other children got picked because they were loud and cute. Leo was quiet and sad, so nobody ever noticed him. Then he heard the loud roar of a motorcycle engine approaching. A giant man covered in tattoos stepped off the bike. Everyone was scared, but Leo saw something different in his eyes. Leo was 8 years old, and he had almost given up on having a family. He lived at the St. Mary's Home for Boys on the edge of the city. Every Sunday was adoption day, where couples came to look at the children. The other boys would comb their hair and smile and do tricks to get attention. Leo would just sit in the corner and draw pictures of a house with a chimney. The orphanage director told him he needed to smile more if he wanted a mommy. But Leo had forgotten how to smile a long time ago. He watched his best friend get adopted by a rich couple last month. He was happy for his friend, but his own heart felt like it was breaking. He started sitting on the front steps every evening, just watching the world go by. One Tuesday afternoon, a black motorcycle pulled into the driveway. The engine was so loud that the birds flew away from the trees. The man driving it was huge with a long beard and scars on his face. He wore a leather vest covered in patches and had skulls tattooed on his arms. The other children ran inside and hid behind the curtains in fear. The orphanage director walked out looking very nervous and stern. She asked the man what he wanted and told him he was scaring the children. The man took off his helmet, and his voice was deep like thunder. He said his name was Silas, and he was looking to adopt a son. The director looked at his tattoos and judged him immediately. She told him that maybe this was not the right place for someone like him. Silas looked past her and saw Leo sitting alone on the steps. Leo did not run away like the other boys did. Silas walked past the director and sat down on the step next to Leo. The giant man looked like a bear sitting next to a mouse. Silas pointed at the broken toy car in Leo's hand. He asked Leo if he liked cars, and Leo nodded his head slowly. Silas reached into his pocket and pulled out a small wrench. He told Leo that he was a mechanic, and he fixed things that were broken. He asked if he could try to fix Leo's toy car. Leo handed him the toy and watched Silas work with gentle hands. In 2 minutes, Silas fixed the wheel, and the car rolled perfectly. For the first time in 4 years, a small smile appeared on Leo's face. Silas looked at the director and said, "This is the boy I want." The director tried to warn Silas that Leo was very quiet and difficult. Silas said he didn't care, because he knew what it was like to be judged. It took 3 months of background checks and paperwork. Everyone was surprised to find out Silas had no criminal record at all. He actually owned a successful auto repair shop in the city. The day Silas came to take Leo home was the best day of Leo's life. Leo climbed onto the back of the motorcycle, wearing a tiny helmet. He held onto Silas's leather vest and felt safe for the first time. Their house was small, but it was full of tools and car parts. Silas built Leo a special bed that looked like a race car. But life was not perfect just because he was adopted. When Leo started his new school, the other parents whispered. They pulled their children away when Silas dropped Leo off at the gate. One day 3 older boys cornered Leo in the playground. They made fun of his clothes and pushed him into the mud. They told him his dad was a criminal and a monster. Leo came home crying with a ripped shirt and a bruised knee. Silas didn't get angry or yell or go fight the bullies. He cleaned Leo's knee and sat him down at the kitchen table. He rolled up his sleeve and showed Leo a tattoo of a broken heart. He told Leo that he grew up in an orphanage too, just like him. He told Leo that people judge what they do not understand. He taught Leo that being strong doesn't mean fighting with fists. Being strong means being kind even when the world is mean. The next day Silas went to the school, but not to scare anyone. He brought his tools and offered to fix the school's broken playground swing. The teachers and parents watched in shock as the scary man worked hard. He fixed the swing, and then he fixed the teacher's flat tire. The kids gathered around him, asking about his motorcycle and his tattoos. Silas answered every question with patience and a soft voice. The boys who bullied Leo saw that Silas was actually really cool. They apologized to Leo and asked if they could see the motorcycle. Leo looked at his dad and felt his chest swell with pride. He realized that his dad was not a monster. He was a protector. Years went by, and Leo grew up working in the shop with Silas. They spent every weekend fixing old cars and riding together. Leo never felt lonely or unwanted ever again. On Father's Day, Leo wrote a card that made the giant man cry. It said thank you for stopping when everyone else drove by. It said thank you for seeing the boy behind the silence. Silas framed the card and hung it right next to his tool chest. People still stare at them when they walk down the street, but they don't care because they know the truth about love. Love does not look like a suit and tie or a perfect smile. Sometimes love looks like a biker with a heart of gold. Never judge a book by its cover, because you might miss a great story.